Guys, it's Abby over by the Angel Books, and today I'm going to be babbling about the book Scribbler of Dreams by Mary E. Pearson. I will start off with a spoiler-free synopsis, and then I will go into a more in-depth discussion about it. So this is basically a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, kind of. The protagonist is Caitlin Malone, and she has grown up to hate the Crutchfields. So basically, their story goes way back that there was two sisters, and they both came into wealth, and the Malone sister kept all of her land and her wealth and stuff and preserved it and kept it in the family, whereas the Crutchfield sister decided to sell off all her land to get rich from it, but didn't really preserve any of it and keep the natural beauty or any of it in the family. Obviously, Caitlin Malone is a Malone, and she grows up on the farm, and basically she's like a humble farmer, and then her dad is now in prison for killing the dad of the Crutchfield family, and so she has to go to a new school. She's going to a private school, but now she has to go to the public school, which is on Crutchfield lands. So obviously her family isn't very happy about that, but they just don't have the money to afford to send them to private school anymore. When she gets there, she meets the oldest Crutchfield guy, and stuff ensues. So basically she knows he's a Crutchfield because obviously his last name, but she goes in with a different last name, and so it's the whole time like a kind of love story develops in a sense, but her identity's hidden, and it's just these two completely conflicting families with their kids falling in love, so Romeo and Juliet. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. If you didn't recognize the author before, Mary E. Pearson also wrote the Kiss of Deception series, which is really popular, so maybe if you like that style of writing, you should pick up this book. Yeah, it's really quick, just fun contemporary read, so there you go. Now I'm going to talk about a spoilerly section of this, so if you haven't read the book, I would recommend going away, reading the book, and then coming back to this section of the video. Alright, let's go talk about the book. So it actually has been a while since I read this book, so I'm just going to kind of follow my notes, so I don't really have a structure to how I will be babbling about this book, but that's kind of the point. I just babble. So first off, a point I would like to make, obviously Caitlin is very much so an artist in her words, while as Bram is an artist with actual like what you would think of as like art on paper. I think it's really nice to both be able to see an element of art in a book, but also it's presented in a way that I feel like isn't really pretentious, and I don't necessarily like using that word, but a lot of times it can just be shown as like a very stereotypical like artistic person. And like as a teenager who writes poetry a lot and does kind of the same stuff that Caitlin does, it's really nice to see that portrayed as just like, this is a thing I like to do, don't over romanticize it, I'm not a manic pixie dream girl, I just like to write poems. And then Bram's art was just also very chill, and it was a nice connecting factor of the two. I just think the art and the portrayal of art in this book was pretty grand. Also, just speaking of Bram and Caitlin, it was a very cute relationship. A little too good to be true, but then like, what isn't in your good old YA contemporary love stories? There was definitely a severe case of insta love in this book, but it was short, so I guess that was just going to be inevitable. Another thing that was a little strange was I felt like I kind of understood the hate element, like I understood where they were coming from, which is weird because like I'm very much so a person who I'm like forgive and forget, like I get over things pretty easily, I'm not really one to hold a grudge. But I understood their hate and I felt for them, so there's that. I felt like for the most part the book was kind of slow as a story until the end, and the end was super fast and super abrupt, and it kind of made me sad because at that point I was very much so engaged in the story and I wanted more. Overall, their relationship was kind of problematic in the fact that it kind of completely resolved around lies, but obviously by the end that was resolved and like they were good, so you know, overall it was pretty cute, and it was just, you know, a fun read, so like who cares really. What's weird though is I feel like this book was written to be like for a younger audience, even though it was about high school seniors, and like that's me talking, I'm only 15, like I'm not even that age, but I still felt like it was young for me. And I feel like I definitely am kind of like a more mature reader, and just like I like things that are like more intellectual, not trying to be like gross, but yeah, the writing style was a little bit young. I feel like this was either her debut or like definitely an early novel of hers though, so maybe it was just the inexperienced writer in her. Not that it was bad, but just immature. I mean, it wasn't like a literature masterpiece or anything, but it kept me on my edge and it was pretty dang cute. So overall, 4 stars and enjoyed it, had a great time reading it, that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've also read this book, feel free to leave your thoughts on it down below. I would love to have a discussion with you. But yeah, remember to give this video a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe. But of course, only if you want to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!